Hi everybody, welcome back to another check-in video. I'm back to using my iPhone because I'm in a little bit of a time crunch today. I had started to film this video with like an overhead view and my neighbors were having work done. That happens all the time when I film. The audio wasn't great. So what I ended up doing was just packing my bag for Pelikan Hub, and that's what I want to talk about in this week's check-in video. So welcome. I am so happy that you're here. My name is Lori. I am actually a full-time reseller on Poshmark and on eBay, and I share my adventures in thrifting over on my main channel called Lori's Boston Found. But I have been sharing my passion for fountain pens and journaling and planning over here for a couple of years now. I will be attending my very first Pelikan Hub that is happening on September 27th, 2024. Our hub masters for the Boston area are the owners of Bob Slate. We are in the heart of Harvard Square for our gathering tomorrow, and I'm just so excited to see what it's all about. I've been watching a couple videos about Pelikan Hubs and what to expect. So the very first Pelikan Hub was in 2014, and last year I think there were over 220 locations that were hosting a Pelikan Hub meetup throughout the world. It is truly a global event. So Pelikan will send little swag bags for each of the people attending. The registration for Pelikan Hub, I believe, is in June, and you need to sign up and then they assign you to a location. And if there aren't enough people in your location who are interested in attending a Pelikan Hub, you may have to travel to one that is a little bit further away. I believe Boston's been going for a couple of years, so I got lucky because I'm about 26 miles from Boston and even closer to Cambridge and Harvard Square. Since this is my first time, I wanted to make sure that I packed appropriately, so I did take some time today and I packed my Longchamp tote bag. I thrifted this bag for about $40 or $50, and it's fantastic because it has a lot of structure and it fits a lot of items. I can hold it here and I can also use it as a shoulder bag or a crossbody bag. My husband Jay is going to go into Cambridge with me tomorrow. There's a tremendous tiki bar in Harvard Square. During the pandemic, my husband became a bit of a mixologist and started studying a lot of tiki lore. Got a couple books and created a few recipes. We actually even opened our own business. It's called Tiki J, and he created a line of activewear based on drinks. So we're really into tiki stuff. Jay's gonna meet me there afterwards and he'll probably walk around Harvard Square. So I wanted to make sure that I had a bag that wasn't gonna weigh me down. So this I think is appropriate. I've packed it all up with my supplies and I wanna show you what I am taking to Pelikan Hub. First in my bag, I have, of course, my flock of Pelikans. And a lot of people ask if you have to have a Pelikan pen to attend Pelikan Hub. Absolutely not. This is like a networking area where people can share their pens and experiences. And it's just a way for pen people, like-minded enthusiasts to get together and share their love for this hobby. That's my understanding of it. So I have my Pelikans all packed up, and then I have some other pens that I thought would be of interest to people potentially who will be attending. So I'll give you my thoughts on that. So this is the case that I brought for my Pelikans. This is from Pen Trendy House. They were kind enough to send me a few of these cases. I actually love this red one. This is like more of a matte finish, and this is like a shiny crimson. It's gorgeous. I like this one because it's a little bit larger, and when you open it up, I have my M600, my M800, and my M1000 over here. And then I have my M200s over here. And what's nice is when you close this, nothing actually touches, no metal touches, because this folds over and then you have the center bands here to protect here. Also, what's nice about this case and very important to me is that the zipper folds back. So when I'm putting my pens in and out, I don't have to worry about scratching it on the zipper. So I'll start with my Pelikan M200s. This is the very first one that I received. This is a golden barrel. This was a limited edition M200 in 2021. And my friend Olga, who is a viewer who I met for the first time in Orlando, was kind enough to just gift this to me spontaneously in the moment, handed this to me because she had two, and it was my very first Pelikan, so it will forever be very special to me. The ink that I have in here is Three Kings. by Diamine. We will be getting a bottle of the ink of the year, and I think it's called Golden Lapis. So my plan is to clean out this ink before I go, because I think I'm going to ink this up with the ink of the year. I think it will look really beautiful in this transparent golden barrel pen. And you can see there's some like specks of gold here. It's a little like cloudy. It's not like fully transparent, but you can see the ink in there. So I think it'd be really fun to ink this up with the gift that we're getting. The other M200 is a recent purchase. This was a pre-order. This is the Cafe Creme. This is an M200. I really like this because this is a really pretty vanilla color. There is also an ink window in here. The M200s are steel nibs. I actually have a video on all of my Pelikans in detail. I can link that above here or in the description if you want to check it out. This was a pre-order that I got through Atlas Stationery. I had this on pre-order, and then the M1000 came out in the Renaissance Brown, and my heart just stopped. So I ended up getting both of these. I don't know that I would have ordered this had I known that the Renaissance Brown was coming out, but I'm actually really happy that I have this. It's a more affordable pen. It's a steel nib. I think it's more portable. It's not quite a pocket pen, but this is something I would feel very comfortable like throwing in my bag and going to a cafe, of course. And I think in here I have, what ink is in here? Oh, Robert Louis Stevenson. And I actually had filmed samples of each of these inks, so I will show those to you. That's a really pretty pen. That is an extra fine nib, and the Golden Barrel has a broad nib. Whenever I start collecting pens within one brand, I like to get a variety of nib sizes. So I think my next Pelikan is going to have to be a medium nib, because I have extra fine, 2 fines, 2 broads, and no mediums. So medium is definitely going to be the next thing I get. Next up, I will show you my M600 in the white and red. This ended up on last chance at Atlas Pens. It was 50% off, and I kept waiting and kept waiting. And then I looked one day, and the only thing that was left were broad nibs. And I said, I have to jump on this right now, because if I miss this pen, I'm going to regret it. And I am so happy that I jumped on it. So I do have this in a broad nib, and I just inked this up today with the, where did it go? Oh, I'm using the box to hold my camera up, but it's the new Olympic Heritage Red from Montblanc. I previously had in a most recent video where I was sharing this pen in ink, Graphon Faber-Castell Garnet Red in here, and it's really beautiful. So just today, I switched over to the Montblanc Heritage Red from the Olympic series. I thought that might be an interesting red that people would be curious to try. So that's why I inked this up with that. My black brown or brown black, I don't know which way it's supposed to be. I ordered this off of eBay. This was the first pen that I bought after the one that I was given from Olga. And I was obsessed with getting this pen, and they don't make it anymore. It was only available on eBay. I was a little nervous to get it on eBay because I had never spent that much money on a pen through eBay. It was a relatively decent price compared to what typical M800s do cost. And I'm really happy that I have this. This is so my aesthetic, the browns and the neutrals. But in here, I put a little bit of an unexpected color. I have so many brown inks that many have seen this pen, but I decided to put Aphrodite by Laban in here. This is like a pink brown color, and it's just a little different and unexpected. And I keep making a mess with this. Okay. All right. That is a mess. I do have samples of all of these to share with you. That was just kind of a unexpected color that I put in here. And in the Big Kahuna, my Renaissance Brown M1000, this one has a fine nib. I have sesame oil in here, which is an ink from Lennon Toolbar, and I absolutely love it. So I didn't want to change that out. Also in my bag is my ink journal from Sterling Ink. This is the Common Planner. This is the half year undated in A5. I've transformed the weeks into little ink samples. So instead of doing Monday through Friday, I just write the date that I'm trying out a new ink. I have samples of the ink over here, what the pen is, and the ink down here. And then I turn the book this way and I do a little writing sample of how I like the pen and ink. I've been doing this for a couple of months. I think I started this in June. So every time I change inks, I write it down over here. So these colors are ones that I've newly put into pens, which is why I haven't completed this page yet. Also, if I just want to do a little bit of a writing sample, just randomly, I will just pick up a pen and ink and write a paragraph. So this has been a really functional tool for me. So I could plan to continue with the A5 undated common planner from Sterling Ink in the new year. Once I finish this book, I will probably order a full year's worth and then just stay in there. So these were my September currently inked. That's the most recent video that I put out. And then this is what I was working on for today. I go in order my M1000, M800, M600, M200 of both styles. So here is Lennon Toolbar Sesame Oil. This is Aphrodite by Laban. That's in my M800. Here is the Mont Blanc Heritage Red. This is Robert Louis Stevenson, which is in my Cafe Creme. And then down here is Diamine Three Kings in my Golden Barrel. So I just wrote down the inks that were in here. So I thought that if I was at Pelikan Hub and people wanted to see what I had in my Pelikans, I would write them down. So that's all I have in here as far as like what I wrote. I'm also bringing a bottle of Pelikan Brilliant Brown. This was the very first bottle of ink that I bought, and I bought it at Bob Slate's. I drove into Cambridge because I had just gotten my TWSBI white with rose gold trim. I realized I didn't have any bottled ink. So I very impulsively on a Thursday, I remember, drove into Cambridge and bought my first bottle of ink because I could not wait to ink up my pen. I feel like this is a real full circle moment because now I'm going to Pelikan Hub at Bob Slate's, where it all began. I am going to bring this ink with me in case anybody wants samples from Brilliant Brown. I think it's a really solid brown color. It was my first brown ink, and I think it kind of sparked my love of brown inks. So I thought this would be something nice to bring. I wish I had sample bottles because I would do that, but I'll bring my little blunt syringe if anybody brings their own empty bottles and they want to test out Pelikan Brilliant Brown, I will give them a sample. If I was better prepared, I would have already put these into little sample bottles and then I could have just given them away to people, but this is as good as it's going to get. So I'm probably gonna double bag this because I don't want any accidents in my bag. I was contemplating if I wanted to bring my passport size traveler's notebook because typically I use these at pen shows. Like this is an insert that I got from a company called Sharkcraft. I got a leather cover from them, and then I used their notebook to sample some of the inks at the Dutch Pen Show. These are some of the inks that I purchased, but this isn't really like a purchasing event. So I don't know that I would need to document anything that way. I think I just might keep everything right in my common planner because that way I will have a reference point, and I think I'll just use the page that I started with. It just says Pelikan Hub with my inks here, and I'll just continue here. So I think I will actually leave the passport at home. The other thing that I'm bringing is my rickshaw pen roll. This is like the Sakura pen roll, I believe. I really love this. It holds 6 pens. And I decided to bring some pens that I thought would be of interest to people to either try or to talk to them about. Speaking of the Dutch Pen Show, I am going to bring my Leonardo Momento Zero Grande from the Dutch Pen Show. I love this pen so much. It is a 14 karat gold nib, stub nib, ebonite feed, beautiful resin, beautiful writer, rose gold trim. The list goes on and on. Ink window. I love this pen. Is there ink in there? Oh no, I have to add some ink to this. I love this pen. Maybe I'll leave this empty and ink it up with something there. I think I'm going to try to go a little early and stop into Bob Slate's and maybe buy a couple things before the show because I'm going to be there. Bob Slate's store is very close to where the Pelikan Hub is meeting, so we'll have to park somewhere, walk over. So yeah, maybe I'll leave this uninked and just bring it for people to see. I can always ink it up with the Edelstein, even though it's not going to match. I just thought this would be a pen that would be fun to share because not everybody was able to go to the Dutch Pen Show. I thought it was a special pen to share. Another pen that I thought might be of interest to share with people is my Jane Austen pen. This is definitely a Grail type of pen. It's the biggest investment I've ever made in a pen. It was a gift for my birthday, but it's really beautiful. I thought people would love to see the details in this pen. And I also have it inked up with the Jane Austen ink. So I think that would be fun to share. I'm picturing that there's going to be like some show and tell, you know. I'm also bringing my Aspine, which is a new vac fill pen that I just talked about in my last video. This is just a really affordable vac filler, and I don't want to just bring all like Grail type of pens. I want to bring some practical pens that I think a lot of people would have access to and enjoy. So if anybody's been on the fence about this is like a $47 pen, and I really love it. So I'm going to bring that, as well as I've definitely misplaced it for right now, but I'm also going to bring my Black Forest Hongdian pen, which is the pen that I rave about all the time. There's different versions of the Hongdian. These Hongdians are absolutely beautiful, and they cost about $18. I've actually given one away. I think it's called Milk Tea. It's a lighter cream. I gave it to my son's girlfriend. The one that I wanted to bring is the Black Forest one. There are 26,000 ratings on Amazon. It's a $17 pen, 26,000 ratings, and they average like 4.5. It's one of my favorite like go-to pens that I don't have to worry about, and I wanted to share that with people. So I'll pop a picture up here because I think I put it somewhere and I don't have it at my fingertips right now. All right, next up is just a beauty. This is a Scribo La Data. This is the Orfici pen. I also picked this up when I was at the Dutch Pen Show. I just think this is such a beauty. This has a broad flex nib, and it's gorgeous. This also does not have ink in it, so I may want to ink this up before I go so people can try it out. I'm thinking something that's a lighter shade, nothing too saturated, because this is a fire hose of a pen. I absolutely love my Scribos. The thing with Scribo is I have a broad nib, I have a broad flex, and I have a fine flex. I do want to get a Scribo that just has a straight medium nib, because the fine flex is not my favorite. I love the broad, and I love the broad flex as far as how it writes, but I feel like it would be nice to just have a traditional medium nib. So that's on my list for my next Scribo, but I thought this would be a beautiful one to share. I bought this off of a gentleman at the Dutch Pen Show who actually is the photographer for Scribo. So I think this pen may have been in some of the promos for Scribo, some of the PR stuff. You know, if they're using it for photographs, it has a beautiful resin, so that was pretty exciting. Oh, I'm also going to bring my Aurora 88 because this pen was such a mystery to me for so long, this brand, because it is an expensive brand. I bought this pen and my Pelikan M1000 with credit at Atlas, two pens that I probably would not have paid out of pocket for. This Aurora was such a nice surprise. It's such a beautiful writer. This is the Volterra. A lot of these are repetitive because I just talked about them in my September Currently Inked, but I thought people might want to use that. That does have a medium nib. And lastly, this is more for moral support. I'm bringing my Peniter, which I talked about recently. What's the matter, cutie? You want to go downstairs? I gotta wrap things up. I'm also meeting my husband for dinner in Concord tonight, so if I want to edit this and get it out tonight, I have to be quick. This is a Peniter pen. It dries out all the time. I just want to bring it and see if people want to try it. It's a broad nib. I just had it worked on at the Commonwealth Pen Show, so it actually writes great. It just dries out quickly. Matthew Chen did a great job tuning it for me. I don't know. I just want moral support on this pen. Isn't it beautiful? It's so beautiful. But I thought maybe there will be people there who are familiar with Peniter who might have some tips for me. So those are the 6 pens that I'm bringing. So in total, I'm bringing my 5 Pelikans and then these 6 pens. Actually 7, because I have to find that Black Forest somewhere. So 7 and 5, I guess I'm bringing 12 pens with me. I have my notebook. I'm bringing my ink with me. This is a notebook that I got from Sterling Ink last year, and this is how I used to record all of my inks. I thought I would bring this just in case I want to write messy or something, because I haven't used this in a while, but you really get to see the ink properties on this paper. It is Tomoe River paper. It also displays a lot of the different inks that I currently own. So I thought it would be really nice if anybody had questions about certain inks. I have a lot of inks on here to reference, because obviously I'm not bringing inks, but if they like one, they could maybe order it for themselves at another time. The last thing that I'm tossing in my bag is something I've been carrying around with me everywhere. And I'm very excited to talk about this, but it's too new to really give too many details on. But I started a commonplace notebook, and the very quick version of what this is in terms of functionality, it's a collection of information, like factual information or quotes, entries from novels, just information that you are interested in. Different than a journal. Like a journal are my thoughts. These are not my own thoughts. These are quotes from people. I can tell you really quickly the things that I've written about. I'm reading Jane Eyre, so I was writing some quotes from Jane Eyre. I was writing about Mr. Rochester, who is the main love interest, how he's a Byronic hero. I didn't know what a Byronic hero was. I have another quote from Virginia Woolf. So I'll write the quote here, and then in the margin, I'll kind of say where I'm getting that information from. And then one day I was going through one of my pen notebooks, and I found all the information about my second Mont Blanc 149. It was made in West Germany pre-1991, gold and rhodium nib, all the little things that made that particular pen unique. I have the serial number written on here, which is on the cap band. I am just gathering information in this commonplace notebook. My 30th anniversary is next June, and my husband and I are wanting to do a tour of Italy. So I think what we're gonna do is go to the Dutch Pen Show, which is May 31st and June 1st. And then from there, we're going to go visit some places in Italy. So I had written down some information. You know, Scribo is in Bologna. The store Stilo and Style is in Rome, Visconti in Florence, Monte Grappa, it looks like, is in Venice. And then I wrote down where Aurora was. And then my family, my maiden name is Salvi, and my family is from Ascoli. Alvito is where my husband's family is from. So I'm doing my little Italy wish list of places that I want to go. I'm literally just writing facts in here, quotes in here, books I want to read. I'm going to talk more about it in another video, but I'm really enjoying this. This is a Leuchtturm smaller pocket size notebook. So I'm going to bring this with me because maybe I will get some fun facts about Pelikan at Pelikan Hub, and I can write it down in my notebook. This has just been so much fun. It's a totally different way of taking notes than journaling or doodling. It's very intentional. I think you learn a lot about yourself as far as the information that you're seeking out to put in a commonplace book. So I'm going to do a full video on this in a couple weeks, but I've been bringing this with me everywhere I go. All I did to set it up was do margins like about 1.5 inches over, so I can record what category it is. So far, I've written about pens, I've written about novels, I've written about geography, places I want to go. I have a recipe that I'm thinking about writing down in here, and then in the table of contents. So I don't put them in order, but I'll be able to reference them based on like a little color coding system that I'm going to do in the margin. But I'll talk more about this later. Let me know in the comments if you've ever kept a commonplace book. So that is everything that I am packing for Pelikan Hub 2024. I'm going to film there if I can. I will definitely do a follow-up video on my first experience. I'm really excited about it. Of course, let me know in the comments if you are going to Pelikan Hub, where you're attending, if it's your first, what to expect. So these again are the contents. I have my old ink journal from Sterling Ink. I have my current ink journal also from Sterling Ink. And I have my commonplace notebook. These are all coming with me. Also, I'm bringing pens for show and tell. I have 6, 7 pens, and then these are, of course, all my Pelikan pens that are going. I'm also bringing some Brilliant Brown ink to share. Oh, and the other thing that I forgot to do is I am bringing some of these cards so that I could get some ink samples as well if I don't put them all in my notebook, because I do catalog my inks separately in like a little slotted clear folder type of thing. So that is everything that is in my bag to go to Pelikan Hub. And again, I have this little trusty Longchamp, and you can see it's not overstuffed. I will also have in here, obviously, my phone, and then just a small wallet with like my ID and my credit cards in case I go shopping at Bob Slate's, which I probably will. So that is all for this week's check-in video. I know it's a little different than what I typically do, but this was top of mind, and I'm running a huge sale in my Poshmark and eBay closet. If any of you love to shop secondhand, I'm offering 50% off my entire inventory. I've never done this before. I'm doing like a full liquidation. I had almost 1,600 items in my inventory, mostly pre-owned clothing, fashion, shoes, handbags. I am heavily discounting it because we're getting a new carpet in the basement, and I'm just kind of starting over with my business. So I didn't get to film because I've had a ton of sales coming in this week. So I'll leave the link to that sale as well in case you're interested in shopping that. That's it for now. I have to edit really quickly and head off to dinner. So I'll see you later. Have a wonderful time if you're going to Pelikan Hub. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more from me. I will do a follow-up video with Pelikan Hub real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.